Hello, my dear friends, how are you? Thank you for joining me here today. I'm Ari Theriger, and I'll be delivering a quick video on the household spirit, the Tomte, or as it is more widely known throughout Scandinavia and other Nordic countries, the Nisse. This isn't even the usual Wednesday, well, now Thursday video, just an extra video for your Sunday. This is actually a response to a Patreon of mine, once again. I'm about to complete 8 years of being a YouTuber, and as it all started, it was precisely speaking about Yule traditions, mainly of Scandinavia. Every year in this channel, during the month of December, it's been tradition to deliver content about such subjects and the origins of Christmas and whatnot. But this year, I didn't feel inclined to do that because every year at this time of the year, at this month, there's plenty of content everywhere of people always talking about the pagan origins of Christmas. And it's rather boring at this point, especially taking into consideration that every year the same common misconceptions and historical fallacies pop up. And I personally no longer feel inclined to repeat the same things. Also, the more we look into the pagan origins of Christmas, the more we realize what we thought to be of pagan origin isn't at all. And indeed, I have committed the same errors in the past concerning this subject, and I have since then rectified quite a few. There are some pagan traditions that have somewhat survived in the celebration of Christmas or in some Yule traditions, obviously, but a great portion of what we may think to be pagan, it's actually modern or contemporary. Like the idea behind the modern Christmas tree, which is a West Germany Protestant tradition of the late 16th century. The whole reindeer theme, which quite a lot of people connect to a variety of pagan subjects, but reindeer were actually added to the Santa motif in 1822, 19th century, in the story of Clement Moore. And then there's, speaking of reindeer, there's that usual misconception of which I have too, unfortunately, been part of the dissemination of such a misconception concerning the red cap mushrooms, Amanita muscaria, because, well, as you know, some misconceptions and inventions are so deeply rooted in our societies that even within academia, they become historical facts due to the widespread of such inaccuracies. As I've talked about here, for instance, the example of, speaking of mushrooms, the berserker, and the conception of the consumption of mushrooms, right? Which until quite recently, despite having been a complete invention, it remained within academic studies for so long that it passed as the truth. But anyway, as I was saying concerning the red cap mushrooms, and that whole invention of reindeer consuming these hallucinogenic fungi, which is why there's this whole theme in Christmas traditions and whatnot, that's complete nonsense and actually quite dangerous and derogatory. The whole subject of the Sami people consuming the urine of reindeer when the animals consume these mushrooms, and supposedly to filter the properties through the animal's piss and reach a safe hallucinogenic state and whatever. This is actually found in so many academic works, so many, when in truth the origins of this idea are a complete lie with racist connotations invented by Norwegians some centuries back, making these derogatory anecdotes towards the Sami, and so on and so forth. So the pagan origins of Christmas is a complete mess at this point, and I've made enough videos on these topics. I'm tired and I won't participate in that this year because it ends up being a lot of work when most people are in fact more interested in all the misconceptions and those actually keep coming out every year. So it's a bloody waste of time. Instead, today I'll be delivering a quick answer concerning the Tomte, this household spirit. Last year, a patron posed this question, and this year, another patron. So I've decided to make a video of this. So it's just a quick point, and not delving too much on it, because there's something peculiar about the original appearance of these spirits. So that's the point. That's the main subject. So the first thing that comes to mind when speaking about the figure of the Tomte is a small, chubby, white-bearded, human-like figure with a red cap. And this is how it is represented all over the Nordic countries nowadays. It's iconic, right? However, this wasn't always the appearance of such spirits. As you know, the Tomte is a being from Swedish folklore of small size, which appears on the night of the winter solstice to help farmers. Its origin is very ancient, already mentioned in the Carta Marina by Ollos Magnus in 1539, as you can see in the image right here on the screen, which looks more like a goblin from British folklore, right? It used to be a weird-looking fellow, which you could sometimes find in the barn. It is, after all, a helping spirit of sorts within Nordic agrarian animism. This is the old Tomte, and frankly, its appearance, its aspect, and how it was represented goes in line with many other similar household spirits within European folklore, such as the Portuguese, Galician, and Asturian trago, which messes around with your house if you don't clean it that often, or if you do not give it food offerings. The Slavic domovoi, the Scottish and Gaelic brownie, etc. You get the point. However, the Tomte's appearance was changed into something a little bit more appealing to the eye of modern humans due to the popularization of this creature. You see, when something is popularized, when it gets the attention of the masses, it is sought after. And then an appealing appearance is given to it, and it is capitalized. So during the 19th century, this being became very popular, and in the 20th century, it was adapted to the modern imagery, represented with a white beard and a cap similar to Santa Claus, and almost always with cats, accompanied by cats. We can see its more subdued transformation in this picture, and not as eerie and threatening as originally pictured. And this example is a work by Jenny Nyström, 1935. The red cap became a popular symbol of some Swedish folkloric beings throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. Also noticeable in the figure of the nyker, as was stated before on the videos I've made about such a being, which you can see right here in the video about waterscapes in Nordic mythology, especially the nyker, the water spirit of northern folklore. And then the other video, which is a continuation of these short series on waterscapes in Nordic mythology, but talking about spirit beings such as the nek and strunkar. And before people get any ideas, due to the Tomte's small size, it has been suggested that its origins may lie in the figure of Old Norse mythology called dvergar, dwarfs. However, in Icelandic medieval literature, the size of the dvergar is never mentioned, ever, right? There are no indications in Old Norse mythology that point to any size concerning the dvergar. For all we know, they could have had different sizes, just like other land spirits, landvættir, such as Jotnar and Orfar. The only thing we know is that they were spirits of the earth and related to metals. Their small size is a modern invention, and the Tomte, on the other hand, seems to have been progressively diminished in size since the 19th century. The only thing old about the Tomte is its condition of being a spirit of Swedish folklore, animism, agrarian animism, that more or less follows the folklore of other European folkloric tales and animism concerning household figures, entities. Everything else about the Tomte, especially its appearance and other traits, is from the 19th century onwards. Originally, it was a frightening-looking creature which would help farmers, and not this cute, chubby fellow for the post-industrial individual. So bring back the original Tomte. Hashtag the original Tomte. Bring back the strange and the weird animism. Make it fun again. Reject the aesthetically pleasing modern nonsense. Give a chance to the grisly, haunting, mystical fellas. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video. And as always, tá forido. Thanks for today. Obrigado por hoje. Until we meet again, my dear friends.